Today, Baba is talking about the interesting and beautiful practice of Sangam Yuga, where we children make Baba our heir. So, the child is the heir, and Baba says that you are the children who have all relationships with me. So, I am your father, but you also make me your child. And that is very interesting because in bhakti also, there is a practice of adopting God. And, they keep that little image of Laddu Gopal. Have you seen that? That's very interesting. And wherever they go, they carry that idol and they feed Laddu Gopal and they clothe him. And, there is this practice, but that's just adopting an idol. But Baba says, you practically make me your heir at this time in Sangam Yuga, where this is the only time when we have all practical relationships with Baba. So although, theoretically we have always sung the praise for Baba that you are the one I have all relationships with, but the practical experience of that happens in Sangam Yuga. When, Baba comes and becomes my teacher, Baba adopts me, Baba really gives me the Shrimat of a Satguru. So Baba also comes and has a practical relationship with children in Sangam Yuga. And we children also, we have all our relationships with Baba in a practical way in Sangam Yuga. And Baba says that in bhakti you have sung a lot of this praise that Baba, when you come, we will make you our heir. So, we say, Baba, aap jab aayenge, hum aap par balihar jayenge. So we will, we will shower everything on you, and I will make you the master of everything I have. And Baba says that this is the time for that relationship to happen in a practical way. And how do we do that? So how do I make Baba my heir? So Baba says, by exchanging everything with Baba, by, all that is mine belongs to you, and all that is yours belongs to me. So this exchange is what we do in Sangam Yuga. And Baba says, all that is mine belongs to you, my Baba, and I have no trace of this consciousness of mine in anything, whether it's the body, the mind, or the wealth. That is how, you surrender everything to Baba. And then Baba says that when you make me your child, then I also make you my child. And then I give you the inheritance of 21 births. Now, how do we exchange whatever we have? So Baba says, exchange is done through the buddhi. So it's not like, giving your body means that you start staying in the center, or you giving your wealth means you just bequeath all your property to Baba. It doesn't mean that. this is a very interesting thing that you do with the intellect. That, nothing is, you remove that consciousness of mind from everything, from the body, from the mind, from the wealth, from the relationships. They are not mine, they are yours. And why does Baba ask us to do this? Because you see, whatever Baba directs us to do is for our own attainment in Sangam Yuga. And why does Baba tell us? This is also one of Baba's directions, that you surrender fully to me. Not partly, not 10%, not 20%. You surrender fully to me. And you surrender with the buddhi. And Baba says, you will still earn your livelihood. You will still live in the household. You will still go to work. You will still earn your money. You will still spend your money. But you have to know that it is all mine. So what does Baba really mean when he say that? So you see that in bhakti there is a system of surrendering 10% or 20% or 25%. So in some religions they say that 1/4 of what you earn, it belongs to God. And some religions will say 1/5 of what you earn belongs to God. But then you see, what about the rest? So suppose, Brahma Baba was a very good devotee before Shiv Baba entered his body. And Brahma Baba also spent a lot of money in donation even before Baba entered his body. But then, let's say he spent 20% or 25% of his wealth in donating for good causes. What about the rest? What about the rest 75? Where is it getting used? So let's say there is a scenario where I donate 20% of my wealth or 25% of my wealth for some good cause. And what about the rest of the wealth? I use it for creating pap karma. Then what will be the balance? Will my balance be that of credit or that of debit? So this is why Baba says that here it is not 20%, it's not 25%, it is 100%. Everything that you have belongs to me. And there are two things that you have to check when you say everything that I have belongs to Baba. So one is your money being used for any sinful purpose? Because what belongs to Baba cannot be used for any sinful purpose. It cannot be used for any act of lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed. So let's say, you go for a marriage. What is a marriage? It's a celebration of lust. Or I don't think even a celebration of lust, but a celebration of the license to be lustful. And then you see, you give your contribution in that marriage, then it's an act of lust that you're becoming a part of. So is my wealth, is any penny that I earn being used in purposes of lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed? Yes, or just body consciousness and extravagance, and all of that is arrogance. So am I using my wealth for purposes of uplifting myself, or I'm using my wealth for creating sin? So when Baba says that you have exchanged everything in your through by your intellect or through your intellect, what Baba means is you cannot use any penny for any buying or doing anything sinful. I remember there was this one brother and he shared his experience. He is a Kumar and or he belongs to Baba and he doesn't drink, but he stayed with a host family when he was on one of his tours. And those people of the host family, they loved alcohol. And when he was leaving, he bought them a bottle of alcohol because he thought that's what they love the most. And he presented it as a gift. And you see, there is so much of wine gifting and this gifting and that gifting. And then when he read the Murli, he realized that he shouldn't have done that, because my money shouldn't be spent in buying something, in promoting something, or in contributing to anything that is sin according to Baba. That is an act of lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed. So Baba says, when you say, I have made Baba my heir and everything belongs to Baba, it means that not even one penny of mine is used for any sinful purpose. And second thing is, Baba says, check whether you are using your wealth for the task that Baba has asked us to use it for the punya karma. What is punya karma? The only punya karma is giving everyone the introduction of Baba. Because until and unless they know Baba, they cannot have anything. Baba is the ocean of peace, love, everything. And whatever a soul can get, they can get from Baba only. So the only punya karma that exists is making a soul closer to Baba. And you see, there is so much seva going on. Baba's children, Baba's centers, they are doing so much seva. And am I becoming a part of that seva? So I have to check that also. So first thing is whether anything that I have is being used for sinful purpose. So that should be a complete no. And second, is everything that I have being used for self-development and for seva? Because what else is my third purpose? Nothing. So I have to take care of my spiritual journey. I have to finish my karmic accounts, settle my karmic accounts. And then second thing is I have to use my body, mind and wealth for bringing souls closer to Baba, and I have to contribute in Baba's seva as much as my resources allow, because apart from earning my livelihood and taking care of my karmic accounts, everything belongs to Baba's seva. So Baba says, this is how you make me your heir. And when you make me your heir, then I make you my heir for 21 births. And you see, in bhakti, what happens is we donate some part of our wealth to, making temples or doing charity. And then what happens is we do everything with arrogance in bhakti. So, that also, because of that, we get a return, but we don't get the return that we should get, because it is not being used for the real purpose, because we don't know God and we can't bring anybody close to Baba. So that's the only punya karma that exists. All other karmas are only pap karma. So every other karma is making everybody temporarily happy. So you also get temporary happiness in that return. But you cannot get permanent happiness or 21 births of happiness by doing what you do in bhakti. So that is what Baba tells us to do. Then second thing Baba today says is, in bhakti, people remember God, but it's like they remember God out of habit. So it's like they just have a habit of taking his name or remembering the Shivling or, worshipping Shiv Baba by putting some milk or some flowers or something on the Shivling. So that's like a habit you practice. But Baba says that even though you remember God in bhakti, you don't have the attainment that you should have by remembering God. Why? Because there is no recognition of God. And you see, if you don't recognize someone, then you are not remembering that one, you are remembering your idea of them. And then you cannot have the attainment you can have from them if you're not remembering them. So Baba says, remembering me as I am can purify you, can absolve you of your sins, can make you become the master of heaven for 21 births. But when you don't know me as I am, then just by remembering me as you think I am, you have no attainments. And you see, that is why even though we remember God we remember God so much in bhakti, but still, what have we become? We have become more and more sorrowful. So Baba explains that because there is no recognition, that is why there is no attainment. And then Baba says, on top of it, what do? You remember me only when there is sorrow. Yes. And then you remember me and tell that you are the one who gives both sorrow and happiness. So then you see, it is all wrong. It is, so A, we don't recognize Baba. B, when we are remembering someone who we think gives sorrow and happiness both, can I have happiness by remembering him? No, because I'm not sure that he would give me happiness only. Let's say, you made a mistake, and then you know that it is in your belief system that God can give you sorrow and happiness both. And then you have made a mistake and you're remembering God, then what do you feel more? More sorrow. Because you think that now I have made a mistake, so God must be giving me sorrow only. And that is why there is so much fear of God. But Baba says, no, I am not the giver of sorrow and happiness. I am only the bestower of happiness. Whatever you have done doesn't matter. When you remember me, I am giving you happiness. I am purifying you. And if you do not know that, then when you remember me, how will you have the attainment of happiness? Yes, and then Baba says, if you remember me only in times of sorrow, then how will you have all attainments? So, this is a very interesting practice in bhakti, that we only remember God when there is sorrow. We don't, and there is a saying that dukh mein simran sab kare, sukh mein kare na koi. So which says that when there is sorrow, everybody remembers God, and when there is happiness, nobody remembers God. And then people in bhakti think that it is about temporary happiness and temporary sorrow. And then they only remember God when there is sorrow. But Baba tells us that this is a world of sorrow. It's not like you have temporary happiness, then it is not sorrow. Sorrow is just round the corner. So this is a world of sorrow. And Baba teaches us that you must remember me every second. You must not remember me sometimes, or when you are in trouble, or when you want something or you have sorrow, but you must remember me always, because now we recognize that Baba is my father, teacher, Satguru. Baba is the one I have all relationships with. So, do you remember your relatives when you are in sorrow? Do you remember your father, mother, teacher when you're in sorrow? No, a child always remembers the parent. A teacher always remembers the student. So, or a student always remembers the teacher. So, Baba says that you have to understand that remembering me is not, early morning, just remember me and go off to work and then forget about me. No, you have to remember me constantly. And secondly, you have to recognize me and then remember me. Only then will you have attainments. And what is it about Baba's recognition that Baba tells us? So, 2 points we discussed. First, Baba is not just Baba is not the giver of happiness and sorrow both. Baba is the remover of sorrow and giver of happiness. Second, Baba is the one I have all relationships with. Then you see, Baba gives his introduction in a very complete manner. And Baba tells us that I am a tiny point of light, but I am the ocean of knowledge. And nobody knows, everybody sings praise that God is the ocean of knowledge, but nobody knows that I am the ocean of knowledge, because if somebody knew, they would be interested in knowing what I teach. But everybody is praying to me and telling me, give me this property, this job, this thing. So obviously they don't think I am the ocean of knowledge. So Baba says, know that I am the ocean of knowledge. And what is my biggest wealth? My wealth is knowledge, because when you know better, you do better. And when you do better, you get better. That's the law. And I am the one who teaches you how to do better by knowing all the theories, all the laws of karma, all the laws of the universe, all the truth of the universe. So when you know about everything, then you do good karma, and then only you can get better. So Baba says, you know that I am the ocean of knowledge, and you know how you should remember me. So when you remember me, you remember what I teach. And you hold that in your awareness and perform knowledgeful actions. And knowledgeful actions create a good destiny. Then Baba says, you understand that I am your father, teacher, and Satguru. And when you recognize me as the father, so you see, in the world it is said, you don't worry when you have a father. Yes. And if you worry when you have a father, then it's an insult to the father. And Baba says, this cannot be said about human parents. Can it be said about human parents that you cannot worry when you have parents? No, because parents are themselves worried. So how can you not worry when they are there? And these days, parents teach children to worry, don't they? So if children are not worried, then parents are worried why children are not worried. But Baba says that I am the parent for whom it is said that you don't worry when you have a father. And Baba says, when I am there, when you recognize that this is my father, when you recognize that I am there for you, when you recognize that ocean of peace, ocean of joy, ocean of love is all yours, then what do you worry about? What do people worry about? People worry about peace and happiness. They want peace and happiness. and here we have the ocean of peace and happiness all to ourselves, then why do we worry? So Baba says there is nothing to worry now, because the one who gives the gives the experience and the love of all relationships, the one who gives you the security of the present and future, the one who gives you, everything that you need, everything that the soul needs belongs to you, then why worry? So Baba says this is why recognizing me is important. I remember there was this one Mata, and she told me something very interesting. She used to come for the course, and she said, Didi, a wife is a dispensable asset, a replaceable asset. So I said, why do you say that? So she said, because my brother-in-law, he just replaced his wife. He got rid of one and got married to another. And after that, I feel that any day my husband can leave me, and I can be on my I can be So I said, even if that's even if somebody can leave you, why do you have to worry? Because you see that sometimes there is so much insecurity, insecurity of wealth, position, relationships, body, so much insecurity we live in. And then Baba teaches us that no, all your relationships, all your attainments are from me. And so you don't have to live in any relationship or with anything in insecurity. You are living in this world just as an instrument. You do not have your heart attached to anything in this world. And you know that everything is changeable. So I told him that it's not true that a wife is a replaceable asset. It's true that everyone is a replaceable asset and everything is a replaceable asset. So, everything and everyone is replaceable. Why do you think something or someone is not replaceable? And it is true for everyone. It's just that, you think that somebody respecting you or somebody thinking that you're irreplaceable is a matter of pride. But no, that's not true. Everybody is replaceable. Everybody is, transient. Everybody is temporary. Everything is temporary. But then that shouldn't be a cause of worry, because change is the only constant. And you must know that when you have Baba as your parent, then there is nothing to worry. You can glide through one change into the other effortlessly, because there is no attachment, no fear, no insecurity, and no problem with change. If change comes, you welcome it, and then you are with Baba and you don't lose anything. So Baba says that this is how you have to recognize me as a father, and recognizing me as your father relieves you of your insecurity, it relieves you of your worries, it makes you have the intoxication that my present, my future are all secure. And whatever is happening temporarily will happen, but I will always be in good hands. I am with Baba, and that is the best hand I can be in. And then Baba says, I am your teacher. And when you recognize that the highest on high is teaching you, then you would pay so much attention to my study. And the more you study, the more you are knowledgeful, the more you are powerful and sensible enough to deal with everything around you. And you're very sensible how to create a future in the present. So you see, Baba educates us and Baba teaches us how to create a future in the present. So Baba says that, do you recognize me as a teacher? If you recognized me as a teacher, then you would pay attention to my teaching. You would have yoga with the teacher. And then you would have never an insecurity about, I don't know this. What if this happens? How will I deal with it? because now you know everything. You know the answer before the question. So Baba says, this is how recognizing me fills you with attainment. And then you know that Baba is my Satguru. He will not leave me. He will take me back with him. Yes, and then I am his child and I am made in Baba's image. And that makes me realize all my powers and virtues and everything that is hidden in me. So Baba says, because now you remember me always, and now you remember me as I am. You remember me as the ocean of purity, then I purify you. You remember me as the ocean of happiness, then I make you happy. If you remember me as the giver of sorrow, how will I make you happy? So you have to remember me as I am. And this recognition will give you all attainments. So this is the second thing that Baba tells us. There are many points in the Murli. I'll discuss another one. Baba today also says that when you use your power to tolerate, then you become a form of your powers. So to tolerate is to reveal your own form of power. So you see that Baba has made us recognize our latent virtues and powers. Yes, Baba says, you are a peaceful soul, you are a pure soul, you are a loveful soul, you are a powerful soul. You have the power to tolerate, you have the power to face, you have the power to discern, you have the power to decide. But then, how will I become an embodiment of these powers? How will these powers which are latent in me come to the fore? How will these powers emerge? So these powers will emerge when there is a task in which you use these powers. So let's say somebody is a very great mathematician and is sitting on a sofa. How do you know he's a great mathematician? You give him a problem to solve, then you know he's a great mathematician. So similarly, until and unless you use your power, how does that power reveal itself to you? So you see, I'll tell you my own experience. So all my life I believed I have very low tolerance. I cannot tolerate pain. I cannot tolerate any inconvenience. I always believed that. And then, when I came to Baba, then, and this is not just what I believe, but I was conditioned into believing that, I think, because everybody in the family said, she cannot bear anything, she cannot. So then I thought that, yes, that is me. But then when I came to Baba, then Baba said, tolerance is your power. And then I started experimenting with it. So first thing I started tolerating was noise, Earlier when there was noise around when I slept, I used to feel it is natural to get disturbed. But then I started experimenting and telling myself that tolerating is my power. So even if there is a lot of noise around, I can tolerate it and sleep well. And then I could do that. And then physical pain, I thought I can never tolerate. But then when there was physical pain, I just stayed in the Swaman that I am a very Sahansheel soul. I can tolerate every pain. And then I could do that. And slowly, gradually, I found this deep faith in myself that I can tolerate anything and everything in this world. And now I have that attitude, bring it on. I'm not afraid. So whatever you can do, you do. I have no problem with it. And when you are able to be in that state, it's such a free state to be in. Because then you are not, so you don't have to worry about what can happen, what will happen, because you know that whatever will happen, you can tolerate it. And you see, when we will rule the world in Satyug, What will be my power through which I will rule the world? Will I have the power that, nothing will happen to me? No. I have the power in Satyug. What will be the power or the awareness of Lakshmi Narayan? They know who they are. Lakshmi and Narayan, they have complete faith in their own virtues and their own powers. They don't have faith that Prakriti won't do anything to me, or other people won't do anything to me. No, that's not the power. Their power is, I am loveful, I am powerful, I am pure. And that power discourages nature to do anything untimely or without orders. And Baba says, how will you go to that place in your awareness where you say that I am not afraid of anything, and I am not, so when will you not think about anything? When will you not give power to anything? So thought is power. When you think about adversity, you are empowering adversity. But when you have fear, you will think about adversity. How will you not think about adversity? And how will you get rid of fear? When you have faith in your power to tolerate. So when you have that faith that I have the power to face, I have the power to tolerate, then you are not afraid of anything and you don't think about anything. When you don't think about anything, nothing has power over you. So this is how it goes. So Baba says, experiment with this power to tolerate. In small situations, big situations, every situation, you experiment with your power to tolerate and come to that place in your awareness where you know that I can tolerate anything and everything that comes my way, and I don't have to think about anything in a fearful way. Okay, Om Shanti.